Gonna do that. All right, good morning, everybody. I'm going to call today's Community Advisory Board Outreach and Community Engagement Subcommittee meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, and the time is 11:04 a.m. And we'll start with the first item on today's agenda, which is roll call and introductions, and I'll turn it over to Garyana.
Yes. Brenda Lee,
Oh, present.
Marcus DeWall,
Present.
Alexandria Spearman,
Present.
Demetria Lawrence.
Present.
4 members present, quorum is established.
Thank you, Garyana. That'll move us to item number 2, public comment on any item under the jurisdiction of the committee and not on this agenda, and speakers may be limited to 2 minutes. And I'm sorry, I do see that we have one person that has joined online. Jennifer, did you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I think I've met some of you at a previous meeting last week, but I'm Jennifer Bergeman, new program manager with the ORJ. So I'm just trying to attend all of these meetings and get to know folks. So thank you for having me, and I'm just going to kind of be observant. So thanks.
Thank you and welcome. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so if anybody would like to make public comment, please prompt me. We do not have anybody in the room, and we don't have anybody else other than Garyana and Jennifer online. So it looks like we do not have any public comment. So I'll move us to item.
Before
Yes.
before you move to approving the record of action, I just want to point out that this isn't on the agenda, but Nicole has included 2 attachments from the ambassador's reports, and I'm not able to show them online because they weren't included in the original packet, so they're not able to be viewed by the public, but I have included copies on the desk for the 4 of you for your reference. And it's just ambassador reports from her 2 ambassador meetings that she wanted the committee, the subcommittee to take a look at.
Okay. Thank you, Garyana. Okay, I'll move us now to item 3, consider approving the record of action from the November 19th, 2024 CAB Outreach and Community Engagement Subcommittee meeting. And the record of actions included in our packet, and it's viewable on the screen as well. So we'd be looking, once you've had the opportunity to review, for a motion and a second.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the record of action. My name is Alexandria Spearman.
This is Brenda Lee. I'll second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion to approve and by Alexandria and seconded. Do we, or can I turn it over, Garyana, to you for a roll call vote?
Yes, you can. I have a motion by Alexandria and a second by Brenda. Marcus,
Aye.
Alexandria,
Aye.
Brenda,
Aye.
Demetria.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Our next item is item 4, consider approving CAB application for new membership to be considered for approval by full body. The CAB application is for Larry Graham, and it's included in our agenda packet. Doesn't look like Mr. Graham is online or in the meeting. So one thing that we could do if this committee would like to is that we can move it to the full board like we've done in the past with a few others when the person's not present. And that way we wouldn't be holding it up, and it would give the CAB the opportunity to ultimately make the decision whether to move it forward or not.
Do we know this Larry Graham gentleman? Anybody met him?
No.
So are you thinking we should maybe hold him and us meet with him first, or we can just move it to the full CAB board?
Yeah, I'd like to meet with him first.
Okay.
I prepared some questions. I know a couple of times we've been having a few.
Okay.
Had a few questions for our interviewees, but I thought we'd bring some questions to the group.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
Yeah,
Cause we're just like, yes, like, but
yeah.
Yeah, so,
no more questions.
Garyana, would we need to make a motion, or could we just carry this item over to the next OCEC meeting?
You can carry the item over to the next subcommittee meeting.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, then we can move on to agenda item 5, discuss CAB retreat 2025.
Okay, thank you. As Garyana mentioned, agenda item 5 is for us to go over the CAB or discuss the CAB retreat 2025. And we have CAB retreat materials in our packet, and then the agenda from last year's retreat is on the screen as well. And so I'd listened to so that I could be somewhat prepared for this discussion or meeting from last month. And one of the things that we discussed was using the morning time for presentations from some of our partners, and specifically from ORJ and from the probation department. And Gary, I'm not sure if you were able to follow up to see if there would be representatives available from those two departments to give presentations. Do you have any update on that?
Patrice is available to provide an overview of the ORJ and also the AB 109. And also we're reaching out to the chief of probation to see if she will be able to attend either in person or via Zoom. But I will let you guys know if I have any further updates at the next subcommittee meeting.
Okay.
Are there any other presenters you would like to hear from?
I'll open it up to the group here if there's any other speakers that anybody could think of. And then I have a few comments that I'll add to the whatever discussion that we have about this.
She said Patrice is gonna do AB 109 and ORJ.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that-
Yeah. So that would be the first so that would be like from 9 to 9:30 probably, right? Or is she going out, is she doing the Community Advisory Board history? Or is she just doing AB 109 history and ORJ? What exactly, do we know? What exactly she's presenting to us?
She will probably do, if you're looking at the agenda, she'll probably do the AB 109 history and intent with CAB and CCP, and then also an overview of the local landscape and structure.
Yeah, okay.
So from 9:30 to 10:15. But those times can be moved.
Right.
Or changed depending on what you guys want to hear.
Okay.
Now, Garyana, in those two sections, in what part does she cover? You know what? So I saw some of the PowerPoint that's in our packet. What part would she be covering? You know, what ORJ does? So what I'm looking at is, I think that if there's anything that we would request that any of the speakers could touch on, that would probably be helpful, you know, for them in addition to what we have on the agenda. And so, you know, some of the things I would like to make sure that the CAB is aware of is, you know, exactly what ORJ does with the complement of staff that they have as far as program evaluation, contracts, et cetera. And then if any information is able to be shared with the CAB on, you know, any of those, you know, reports they do or that they provide, I think that would be helpful for the CAB to have an understanding, because I think that some of the work that some of the subcommittees do may be a little bit duplicative of what ORJ is doing and what their staff do, specifically with program evaluation.
Yes, I don't think that's included in the presentation, but we can certainly add it.
Okay.
Is that part of it? Okay, so wait, she's gonna do AB 109 history and ORJ, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and their functions and, okay.
Yeah, like
And
how ORJ
yeah, the
ties
management and
to
everything. Okay,
this group. I understand. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't have any suggestions that you want us to add. I know we talked about probation, the sheriff's office, and parole, and I know at least looking at last year's or this year's, I should say, agenda, there's going to be, it looks like an overview of that. But being new, I don't have any suggestions or thoughts on folks. I guess my only thought is if there's like a strategic plan for ORJ, or I know like the community advisory board has goals, but if there's a like strategic plan for ORJ, I think it'd be helpful to see that and how the other agencies like the county jail, sheriff, and probation connect to that if that document exists. And I said a lot here. Anna, did you catch that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna read it back to you so I make sure I quoted it correctly. You want to hear about the strategic plan and how other agencies connect to it?
Correct.
What specifically did you want to hear from probation about?
So my thought is if there is goals within the strategic plan that relate specifically to probation, what are those outcomes? What are those goals and what are the outcomes that they're hoping to achieve? I think that'll help me better understand the role of the advisory board and how we can assist in achieving those goals, if any.
it has to be AB 109
Correct, related.
related.
Correct.
For the probation department. That's what we're looking for.
Specifically, yes.
Yes.
So I think, at a high level, I think it'd be helpful for the probation department to provide an overview with, about what they do with people that they work with, that are on their caseloads, as far as utilizing the services that are in place, that have been part of the recommendations made by the community advisory board, how they determine which services they're going to be referred to, and then any outcomes that they're aware of with those services. So in my mind, and this is just me giving my 2 cents, I think the bulk of the morning, I think the initial welcome and housekeeping, I think by the CAB chair, I think would, welcome everybody, set the tone as far as what the day is gonna entail. And then it'd be helpful to jump right into ORJ, because ORJ really is the direct nexus to the CAB. And then if the probation department's available, then they could end the morning part just basically speaking to or providing an overview of, what are they actually doing, and what are they doing with the population that they serve? What are they doing with the programs and services that are in place? And if there's any, gaps or anything that they, if it's the chief, that the chief wants to share with us. And then I think that finishes off the morning. If the chief isn't available, I think that there's enough that ORJ, could go over, that could cover the of the morning, because, in addition to what we have on the agenda from last year, I think if Patrice is able to cover the other parts that we talked about, as far as, what the staff do, the program evaluation, all of that, and how that can inform the CAB, then I think that takes up the bulk of the morning to set a good foundation. I mean, I think realistically, I'm not sure if any of the other stakeholders are gonna have enough time to truly delve into things that we would want to know, and that may be something that throughout the year that at the regular CAB meetings, that some of the other stakeholders come and give presentations to the full CAB.
That's a good idea.
So do you want a section in the agenda for the CAB to brainstorm things that they would want to know in possible future presentations that they would want to hear from?
Think that, so I'm looking at the afternoon. And I think that at either at the, probably towards the end of the afternoon, I think it'd be good to have that topic that you just mentioned, Garyana.
Got you.
That'd be about the 250 kind of future work area. Where we have that discussion, we have discussion questions, what's different,
But the-
Yeah.
what should be our goals, priorities, so if our priority is to figure out what other agencies or departments are working on, we could talk about that there, would that be
Yeah,
a good place?
I think so.
Okay.
I think at the beginning of the afternoon, I think that's where I think the retreat could delve into, okay, now this is all, the rest of the day is focused on the CAB. And, perhaps even go over the CAB PowerPoint that we have now, just so that everybody has, a solid understanding of the different subcommittees. These are what each subcommittee covers. So that everybody is aware of that outside of their own subcommittee. And then I think that would flow into the rest of what remains on the agenda. I mean, the CAB policy recommendations, I think they're status quo because those are still having to go before the Board of Supervisors. And, people may have a good understanding of those because of the CAB ambassador meetings that have taken place so far, but, wouldn't hurt to just, reflect on those. And I don't think that they would have gone to the board by then.
I think that's a great idea. For the focus on CAB and go over the CAB PowerPoint, did you want to assign a CAB member to do that? Is anybody in this current subcommittee willing to take on that responsibility at the retreat?
Is it titled Focus on CAB?
No, I just took that from Marcus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The afternoon.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so right at 1 o'clock. So instead of saying clarify meeting goals and recap, why don't we just say, I mean, even if it was just called Community Advisory Board. Just as a placeholder, and what that would be is to, just go over and reiterate what's in that PowerPoint. This is what the CAB is. These are different, subcommittees. These are the, the meeting requirements, the commitment. Just so that just sets the foundation for, okay, we're all on the CAB. This is what we're responsible for, and this is what the commitment entails. And then that would lead into, finishing off. You have the revisit CAB purpose and fund. That's all covered in the PowerPoint.
Mm.
And then where it says 1:25 p.m. overview of CAB accomplishments, I think that that one and the CAB policy recommendations can be combined, because that's the information that we've been kind of using as a foundation for the CAB ambassador meetings. Just reiterate, these are the accomplishments and the recommendations. They're still pending board approval. And then maybe the second to the last item would be the CAB ambassador meetings going into the next, coming in, starting off in the new year, as far as establishing the expectation and timelines when those would take place so that it's planned out throughout the year. And then ending on what Alexandria mentioned at the 2:50 PM, the CAB future work.
Gotcha.
Like that. And I can present,
Waiting, come on, I can present and I'm
Oh,
waiting. I'm
for the
waiting.
I can present on the CAB overview. How this is the CAB overview. Read those slides aloud.
That's the 125 to the, are
Um,
you talking about the accomplishments
maybe
That's the-
or the recommendations?
I mean, the beginning
The
ones, I think they're
110.
110.
Yeah, the
right out.
110 section.
Okay,
I'm assuming that's.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
well-
the right-
Yes.
okay, so the 110. So we're not gonna clarify, so we're gonna just remove this clarify meetings and goals, because usually when you come back, that's what that 110 is, to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and I think that, don't they do a roll call? Oh, she does it up here, she does.
At 1
she does-
o'clock,
Okay, she does roll call.
Meeting resumed.
Okay, so,
So that's fine. Okay, so I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying. So that's
Yeah.
like bringing them back together.
yeah.
This
and
is
just
the
get us
purpose.
focused.
I mean, it shouldn't
It-
take very long. I don't think it needs.
It's like a 5-minute thing.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah,
Just
unless they want to
clarify
recap. Yeah,
and review the afternoon agenda, and then the part that Alexandra,
should jump
that
in.
you would jump in is where it says revisit CAB purpose and function, but we can just say community advisory board purpose and function.
Yeah, just CAB,
Yeah.
yeah,
CAB purpose.
yeah, CAB, purpose and functions.
Yes.
Got you.
And then you go over, and so you're also doing the overview of CAB accomplishment, or is that separate?
I can do that as well.
No, I'm trying to figure out, we're just making that all one, to make that all one,
One thing.
yeah. I'm not sure why they broke it up.
Probably just visuals.
Yeah, I would,
That's-
yeah, just to keep people focused.
Because basically these two sections are just 30 minutes, and I don't think it would take that long.
Well, 3, I think, because the next 2, the 125 and then the 145 are the ones Marcus was suggesting we combine.
Oh, these
The
two, okay,
overview, the
okay.
CAB accomplishments, and then the
Okay.
CAB, yeah, the recommendations. Which were status quo, nothing changes, nothing. And all of these are on the slides, so
Mhm.
it's just
The way you raised it.
Vanna White.
Next slide,
Uh-huh.
next slide.
Uh-uh. Alright. And you said, Marcus, this CAB ambassador program review, you wanted to not move it, you said, just leave it. Did you say?
Yeah,
Yeah, what do we
To
do
the
about the
end.
program?
I heard you mention it, but I want to go back. to
so,
it.
yeah, so what I'm trying to remember what I said. I think what I'm, is that should remain, but that would be the second to the, almost like the second to the last, not the second to the last. It's lined up to where it is, but basically that's where there should be a discussion about the CAB ambassador program. What the timeline will be for the year as far as when they should start, when they should be completed by. There can be a reference to the CAB ambassador guide.
Mhm.
Just setting the tone and the expectations for how the respective CAB members will go into because now we're in a new year, go into the new year, when it's expected that they start to do them, when they, the ideal drop dead time is to have them completed so they can form whatever needs to be done
Okay.
in the year.
Okay.
So why don't we put that right before the future work? Because the program is gonna be, it's an ongoing, our ambassador program, so if we move it to above I don't know why they call it future work. Okay, what should be CAB's goals?
Yeah, so I think that like looking at last year's agenda where it says cab ambassador program
Mhm.
review is I would recommend keeping that header.
Yeah.
But then
moving it.
the remaining items, tips for successful membership engagement, organizing ourselves to do the work. Those to me are subtopics of that cab ambassador program.
Program, right.
Yeah.
mhm.
And so those would be, combined into one. And if we flip to the next page, the future work, that would remain. And then the last item would be just reflecting on the day.
In that case, then, what do you all think of moving the break in between the CAB policy recommendations and then the CAB ambassador program?
You wanna move
That
it up?
way,
Move the break up.
Yeah.
yeah, move the break up. That way the ambassador program just flows into the tip.
It's all one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But breaks up those,
Yeah, so you move the break up.
And what time are we moving the break up to?
Let's see,
mm,
this one stops at one,
well,
two.
if CAB policy recommendation starts at 1:45 and it's 20 minutes, and we're breaking it in half to 10 minutes, so about 1:55.
Gotcha.
Your hand.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
So maybe just say 2:00.
Yeah,
Just say 2:00 and then there'll be a 10-minute break. From 2 to 2:10
Okay.
and then at
We'll go 1, 2, 3.
2:10. Would be when the cab future work.
the ambassadors program.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
So
At
this is
2:10, we
is
start the
ambassador,
call. This is the ambassadors
Right,
program.
yeah.
Your tips, how to get organized, what we're looking at in the future. What do you think?
Yeah.
And this came up at the last general cab meeting, but did you want to have a discussion with the full body about the reporting template? Or how to do report outs?
Yes, would that be in the tips for
Second. It could be, or it could be under the ambassadors program review. Whatever you
I
guys
think it
decide.
should be in the, I think it should be in the program review, in the toolkit kind of area, because that's a tool they'll be using, right? We will be using.
The reports, our meetings, okay, so. Okay. So these are the reports of the cab. Would come somewhere in here. Right?
It's
These
It's the
meetings.
template.
yeah, this kind of upgrade, the updates we did to this, how we wanted
Yeah.
it to look
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
To include
So,
that in
yeah.
the program.
Include
Yeah,
that
that'll
in
be in the program
program
review.
reviews.
For the section on tips for successful membership and engagement, and we reviewed like the advisory body handbook and the operating guidelines, is that still something that we want to do? And if so, what part is that section going to be at?
I do think we should still review it. I'm okay with it being where it is.
I think that the organizing ourselves to do the work. That's talking about the different subcommittees, and I think that should be in that item that's right after lunch.
For CAB.
The one where it was
After
the
lunch.
cab purpose and functions. I think that because the subcommittees are mentioned in that presentation,
Mhm.
and I think that would cover. You know what I mean? I think that cover it in the presentation where we're talking about the subcommittees, when they meet and, I don't think that needs to be talked about again down here.
So what you're saying is we're gonna have the CAB purpose and functions, and then the tips for successful membership and organize ourselves to do the work. You want that all as one grouping and it would be what, right after lunch?
Well,
We put, where would we? Okay, but you got, okay, let's look at CAB purpose and functions, right?
yeah,
And
I
then-
mean, so I don't know if you remember from the past retreats, the parts where it said, the part where it says tips for successful membership engagement.
Mhm.
Is that specific to the cab or is it talking about or is it talking about something else?
No, it's talking about CAB.
Okay, so that's
All
why
of this is to CAB.
okay, so I think that those two items, tips for successful membership engagement and organizing ourselves to do the work,
Is under the purpose.
I think it should be under the.
That's what I was saying. Yes,
Yeah,
move that under the purpose and functions.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so these two will be moved to function, okay, which makes sense.
Yeah, because it doesn't even
Yeah,
really say.
because we're
in
doing
section,
purpose.
but-
And then, okay. Question's going to be, who's going to present? Do we still want Patrice and Garyana because they did the tips for successful, or do we want CAB?
Well, if it's going under CAB purpose and function, I think that's me. That's what I'm signing up for.
Okay, Miss Alexandria.
I believe so.
But you all can co-present that section.
Yeah, it should be yeah, that's sort of a big
That's a big chunk.
chunk, So that's, yeah. Because I know they did, Patrice and Garyana did this, the advisory handbook. They did that, I remember, and the operating guidelines. that I put. Yeah, so
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
So do you want to leave that with them or do you want us? I would leave that with them.
I was gonna say, I think you should leave that with them.
Leave that with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you
just
want-
so, oh, go ahead, Brenda.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just so I'm like following the discussion. So the 125 section, we're going to change it to CAB. And Alexandria is gonna go over the purpose and function, and me and Patrice are going to go over the tips for successful engagement. And where we're going to review the advisory handbook and the operating guidelines. And then we're also going to, in that section, is also gonna be organizing ourselves to do the work, or CAB to do the work. Is that correct?
yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay. So we'll start, okay, let's go back. So in the beginning, we're gonna start off with Nicole is going to, I guess, begin the retreat. Right? Because that's what happened, the chair, CAB
I
chair
think the chair should.
starts the retreat off.
Yes.
You want to, you
Yeah,
starting
okay.
at,
Yeah.
go back to the 9
Okay,
a.m.
let's-
Have it
Nice.
or who's
Um,
doing what.
Yeah, let's finish off the afternoon and then we can start from the beginning again.
We go backwards, okay.
Please,
My
because
brain is
we're
like,
almost there.
okay.
We're on,
Okay.
it like
Okay.
flip to the next page and it says,
Okay, so CAB future work, so, discuss.
Special questions, what's different now compared to previous years? What should be CAP's goals, priorities? Are there any new activities or areas for CAP to consider? Charge or scope of time, what area was looking forward to this year? And who do we want to hear from? Which other agencies or departments do we want to hear from?
Yeah.
And have as presenters? That was.
So that goes in here,
yeah,
Yeah.
other agencies. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Agencies, okay,
Yes.
or other partners.
Other partners,
Because
yeah.
we have partners, yeah, that we.
So are we looking to find somebody to present or just lead, facilitate that section?
I think we just need to identify a facilitator for that section.
Okay.
What about Nicole? What about the CAB? Chair,
Nicole has joined us, and she also has raised her hand.
Oh, I was just raising my hand to tell y'all that I'm here.
And,
Hi, I tried to rush back as quick as I can. I'm sorry. Think there was a question. Do you need help with that? I think I came right at the appropriate time frame. If there was a question.
yes,
sign it.
yes,
We
When
signed
we're
it.
assigning your name.
Being voluntold.
yes. I like
So
that,
I think-
voluntold,
so I-
Voluntold.
yes.
I think that makes sense.
Mhm.
but I would like to hear Nicole's feedback because the next item, where it says I think instead of saying what have we accomplished, review and reflect, is maybe just keep review and reflect. Cause that's just like a recap of the retreat. So I'm assuming that, she may want to do that part, but if she doesn't, then, somebody else could do it. But as the CAP chair, she may be the one. It makes sense for, her as the chair of the CAP to have that final, send off and recap. And, this is what we discussed, what we accomplished today, and, take charge and move forward.
Yeah, anywhere that you see Ozzy, because she was the previous chair, be feel free to throw me in there. I will I have no problem with continuing where the chair took part at. So I can definitely do that ending part as well as I believe you guys were at the CAP future work part. So I'm willing to step in anywhere that Ozzy name was. And then depending on how you all changed it, as I'm just now coming in, so I don't expect for you to go backwards. Yeah, I would definitely love to do the closing for the retreat and any other area that you all discussed today that you may just let me know what changed. Again, I don't want you to go backwards. So
Nicole, just so we did go through, the entire agenda and have some tweaks, but you came at a good time because we just
Okay.
went through it one time and we're going to go through one more time so that we
Okay.
can clarify, clarify the proposed agenda, the timeframes, and then the facilitators or the speakers. So your timing's good.
Perfect. So yes, go ahead and throw me in there.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the top or to the beginning.
9 a.m. Welcome, everyone. Take a snack.
Welcome. You might keep me. Yeah.
Welcome in housekeeping.
Mhm.
Nicole.
Yeah, that's the CAP chair. CAP chair.
Welcomes everyone else. Roll call of members, introductions, approval of record, vote, agenda, overview of process, intro, icebreaker, yarn, breaker.
Oh, yeah. Now, remember, Nicole, that was really fun. And that's what I kept thinking. We had an icebreaker. Well, we had to string. You remember, Nicole, we had to string and you had to go to whoever had the same kind of suggestions you had, so we could see how we were all connected.
Ah,
It was fun. And it only took us about what, maybe 5 or 10 minutes?
So yeah, it was getting to know each other. So anyone that had the same shared interest, like for example, if my interest is shopping and someone else had that interest, then you would do the string there. So it was a lot of fun. We got all tangled up, but it was amazing.
Yeah. It was fun.
nice.
So you want to keep that?
Yes,
I like that.
Okay, we're keeping that.
Yeah, we can keep it.
Okay.
gotta love icebreakers.
Okay.
Okay, after that, then we'll move to,
Yeah.
So the next, I think, is Patrice, right?
Yeah.
ORJ.
Mm-hmm. So we go from,
So
this is
not-
1, and then, so where you have her at 9:30, you're gonna move her up to
20.
you're moving up to 9:20, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Patrice. Okay, this is 2.
Wait. Does this mean, okay, so in this 920 section, it is titled, what is the community advisory board?
Mhm.
But the bullet points say, what is the purpose of this retreat? So do we want to give a purpose for the retreat and then Patrice can go in with AB 109 history and blah, blah, and so forth?
Oh, so wait a minute, I see what you're saying. So
Cause
you're
yeah,
gonna move this, okay, so first of all, this heading is wrong.
yeah, so I think the heading is
Okay.
wrong.
That's just throwing
It's
us
an
off.
introduction to the day or an overview of the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So this would be, oh, yes.
Which is what we want to have.
Yeah, so this is 1. That's A, this is 1B.
So
How's
so
that?
remember in the welcome and housekeeping at the very at the top, they have an agenda and overview of it say process, but it really in that first section at 9 a.m. is really where that overview and recap of the agenda kind of goes. Are you gonna set out a different section for that again?
Okay.
No, we
No,
can
we
leave
put that
it.
in there.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
yeah,
So we combine.
Yes.
Yes,
this
yes.
Little bullet, this So what we're doing where it says agenda and overview of the process, well, overview instead of process, overview of the retreat. And then in that 9:20 section where it says state the purpose of the retreat, with the morning session, with the afternoon session, that'll all be included in that original overview of the retreat that Nicole is starting off with at 9 a.m.
Yeah, because I think at the last meeting, what one of the feedback that you guys all gave that morning, you all wanted the presentation. So like that first part at 9 was really like that recap, welcome, what we're going to talk about, introductions of members, and then the roll call. And then it was really leaving room for that morning with the ideas that you guys had with the presentations.
Correct, okay. Perfect. So we're gonna just can move, close all of this
So
out.
this retreat, this, okay.
She's gonna put all of that in
It's the,
this area.
that goes. Purpose of the retreat is gonna go up here where you see agenda and overview, right?
Mhm.
Take out the process, just take out agenda and overview. Okay, and then it'll be the purpose of the retreat.
Yeah, so I won't go into like cab history and all that stuff because you guys had made some major points where majority of everyone knows about the 8109 history. So it'll just be like paperwork in the folder.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
It's not all of
chair,
it.
cab chair.
So all of this is just, what are we doing? So
You gotta change it.
in the, okay, so just for clarity, in the agenda and overview of the retreat, you're going to be naming, hello, everybody, we're here for, learn about CAB, and we're gonna have presentations by Patrice, who's gonna talk about AB 109 and ORJ. We'll have a break, then we'll go into,
So is Patrice the only one that's is she the only whoever's presenting at that time. So I'll do usually at the very beginning we do a welcome, try to get everybody together and then go around roll call, approval of action. We go over the agenda, the afternoon, the morning to kind of set the expectations. We then do an icebreaker. So pretty much there really isn't a state of a purpose because when I do the agenda and overview of the process, that pretty much is already stating the retreat. So really that item that at 9:20, we pretty much took that out because there's no reason for it. We're going to include the paperwork within the binder. So there really isn't a state the purpose because when that pretty much, again, when I do the agenda and overview, I am stating the purpose of why we're here.
yes,
Right.
yes.
And then after
Right.
that,
Yeah.
it just goes into whoever is presenting, if that's ORJ, whoever that decided you guys decided as a committee will be the people that'll come to present. We will go into that. So I'll give an overview of our presenters and the afternoon and what this whole day pretty much looked like. And then it's jumping right into the presenters. Um, um, I guess, unless it was changed. Let me know. I'm here as a fly on the wall.
Nicole, to bring you up to speed, so there's two presenters that we would like to have in the morning, and the bulk is ORJ and Patrice, and
Okay.
it sounds like she's available. We do want to get the chief or somebody from the probation department
Okay.
to do a presentation after Patrice and ORJ, but we don't know if somebody from probation is available.
Okay. 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 And I know another one that was tabled was the CAO office from a need. Just from my personal experience, for myself, I had no idea what they did. And even if they can't come present now, I think it's a good idea for them to come back to full cab because they play a part in reference to like from the policy and budget aspect of it. And I was completely clueless until I got involved with the AB 109 access funding on how what their work consists of. They explain the budgeting. I don't know if everyone on the board is familiar with that, but they explain the budgeting aspect of it, what that looks like. So it's very detrimental in reference to at least the policy and budget committee. So even if they can't, I know a need was open to presenting, even if they can't present there, maybe having them come back later on. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and to that point, I think the agenda is going to be pretty full in the morning, and so
Okay.
we do believe that there is additional stakeholders, and CAO is a perfect example that it would be beneficial to have them present to the full body. And so what we discussed is it would be good to, so I think we have it in the early afternoon to have a discussion on other stakeholders that we would like to have present to the CAB throughout the year. And
Okay,
then reach out to them, have them on future agendas at the CAB general meeting.
okay, amazing.
Okay, that's not cute.
Just so I have it
I'm caught
correct,
up now.
yeah, and just so I have it correct in my notes, so from 9:20, we're going over CAB, and Alexandria is going to be going over the purpose and the function and the accomplishments, which is in the PowerPoint. And then Patrice and I will do tips for successful engagement and organizing ourselves to do tips for successful engagement, where we're going to go over the advisory handbook and the operating guidelines. And then also in that section is organizing yourselves to do the work, where you're going to be talking about the subcommittee work. Is that correct?
9:20, but that's the 1:20 afternoon.
Okay, so at 9:20, what is going in that section?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
back to the morning.
Back to the morning, because that's the part we're saying.
So at 9:20, I think that what we had talked about is Patrice would go over what's on last year's agenda for the 9:30 slot.
Okay, got you.
And then, because it sounds like that's part of her presentation that we have in the packet, so she would cover that item, the local landscape and structures. And then what we would like for her to fit in during her time slot is to talk about the actual work that ORJ is responsible for. And one thing that we do want her to spend time on is ORJ's responsibility for program evaluation and contracts.
Got you.
And I think that those 3 items, I think the one item that's missing on the agenda is for her to talk about ORJ, their duties, responsibilities. And I think those 3 topics would cover a lot of time, will take, a significant amount of time. And then ideally, if the chief or somebody from probation is available, then they would finish off the morning.
Okay. So we're combining the 9:30 section and the 10:15 section.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Combining and moving it up.
Yeah.
And adding time, right? Because it says overview of Office of Reentry and Justice, 10 minutes, but for her to do the overview and the program eval and contracts,
Yeah.
it'd just be a little bit more time.
Yes.
And there's a break there, and then it goes into the money, reflection questions, lessons learned, reflections on the morning. Are you suggesting probation go before the break or after the break? You said
So-
the morning, so is it
Yeah, so what
before or after the break?
I said is to have them go after the break,
After the break, okay.
and then I don't want to be dismissive of what's on this agenda for this part, but I think that this part, at least for the morning, is eliminated because the probation department needs to give a presentation.
Yeah.
And then that would probably, with presentation and maybe questions, would take up until lunchtime. Or up until where it says reflections on the morning. And then the afternoon, I think we stick to that agenda that we had discussed.
So where are we putting the AB 109 and the money? Where's that going?
See, I think that maybe we just add, that's part of Patrice's presentation. When
That's
she,
fine.
when
That's
she,
okay. I just wanna
you know,
make
when
sure we
she's
got it.
talking about
Okay.
AB 109 history.
Mhm.
So you want her before, okay, so that'll go before probation.
Well, I'm just saying that within AB 109 history, it should touch on, because it's a significant part of AB 109 is the realignment. With realignment came the money associated with it.
So what I'm saying is that we make sure that they understand, because you're moving things around. So we're gonna get a new sample of this so that we can actually physically see what goes where.
Mhm.
Because I just flipped over and said, oh, the AB 109 in the money, and it is Patrice, okay? And if she, so that's going in her section before we go to, after the break is probation, correct?
Mhm.
So anything that Patrice is doing goes before probation.
Yes.
So I'm looking at the time and I'm wondering
Yeah,
if we have time for that. Even if we ask Patrice to do the AB 109 as part of the overview, that was a 30-minute
Yeah.
presentation, and we've only saved off about
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So my, my question would be, do we want to just have probation come during a regular CAB meeting? Like you were suggesting with our other partners? And that way it allows, it still have enough time and we don't have to move anything else to try and fit them in an already packed agenda.
Yeah, I think that that's I mean, it's a decision point for us. That's an option. Another option is, at one of our prior meetings, we discussed that some of this historical information about AB 109, and this is my 2 cents, can be covered on a document. Rather than a presentation that could take away from the other things that we want to give time to on the agenda.
And that could also work if we are able to have it before the retreat, like the AB 109 and the money, I could see having the documents ahead of time. Then maybe condensing this to like 15 minutes just to to get feedback from people on what we looked at and do like a brief summary. But that then only still leaves about 15, 20 minutes for a presentation if we invite other.
Maybe it makes sense with the option that you first mentioned as far as Patrice, ORJ, and then having the probation department come to a subsequent CAB meeting. And then there's no, I mean, if you go that route, then you give Patrice the opportunity to cover everything that's on this agenda from last year. And then you probably would have some flexibility to have some questions or a brief discussion about, what was learned or gleaned from the presentations, and then that would finish off your morning. Well,
Oh, no, I just want to ask a question, and I appreciate like the changes in the thought process you all are putting in there. Quick question: Are you going to continue? And if you said this, forgive me. Are you keeping like the lesson learns part of it from bringing in previous CAB members? And the only reason why I'm asking if you all want to keep it, great. But just seeing that we have such, and it's just my recommendation, such a new board and all these great ideas. If we were to remove something, maybe that. Do you want to hear from like past CAB members?
Are you suggesting you take that out?
Yeah.
Lessons learned section?
Yeah, I'm in in reference to bringing back past CAB members.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't see that's just my personal opinion. I'm really excited about this new board and all of the fresh
Right.
ideas you guys have. I don't feel like it's necessary to bring back past CAB members to tell you about the past because we're looking on the future. So that may leave some room, and then
That's 15 minutes.
yeah, and then like reflections. Maybe we could do a survey at the end to give our reflected thoughts about what and talk about it enough if we were looking for some time as 20 minutes. Because I think
Yeah,
hearing from all you guys, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, continue. You were still talking.
I mean, I think it's especially for me being not even about being chair, but just being here for 4 years, hearing your thoughts about what you want to learn, and have people come and present, and just that feedback is really important to me because that's a whole different avenue that we ever took with our retreat. So I would love to be able to make sure that we have room for speakers to come and really address the questions that this new board have, and then maybe do like a reflection survey at the end, and we can bring it up at a next full board meeting or something like that. Just an idea. So make that 11:20 where it says Raina with the reflection questions and then lesson learns about past members, that would give some time.
Yes. I would agree with that.
Take that out.
This, Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
reflection.
You
Yeah,
really
she-
don't need to reflect. If we need to, I don't know how easy it is for RJ to do it, but like some kind of reflection survey at the very end, and we can give feedback and
Yeah.
reflect at a full CAB meeting.
Yeah, and
Get a
you know,
two
the,
reflections, we could just do one at the end of
And
the
there's a
Save your
reflection
comment.
at the
end of the
end.
day, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, because
That's-
Demetrius
there's
just said
another-
there's a reflection at the end before lunch where you can really ask, we can ask all those questions,
Mhm.
even at the 9:30, maybe what stands out, what surprised you, say reflections to the end.
Right.
But I mean,
Yeah, there's a section at 3:10 to reflect over what we
Yeah.
accomplished. So I don't know if we need two reflections. I think I understand why, to kind of a temperature check with people. It's halfway through the morning, lunch, and you want to check in with people. But I don't know if it needs to be.
Yeah, one of the main reasons we had
This.
it was exactly what you said, because originally in our retreats, it was a lot of paper driven and going into real deep detail about AB 109. It really wasn't any individuals coming to present. So we did have that debrief to kind of reflect on everything our brain had to take in for that morning. But this round, we're doing it a tad bit different. So we may not need to reflect twice.
I like the suggestion of using the time from 11:30 to 12 to reserve it for someone to present. And I know I said probation, but if probation isn't available, maybe we can think through who else could maybe be the first to present. And then maybe we have a list that we, moving forward, just ask to come to the CAB meetings.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so do we think probation is like the first group we want to present at the retreat? I'm asking our more experienced folks, because.
Certainly I'm biased because that's the field that I came from. The reason why I lift it up is a lot of decisions that get made about reentry, they all impact probation, because probation has a big part of the pot, not all of it, but has a big part of the people that can obtain the services, that are funded through AB 109. And I also think it's important for this body to hear from the probation department what they're currently doing and how they're, how they're addressing needs of the people under their supervision. I think that's important for this group to know, moving forward for the work that you'll want to do down the
I
road.
have a question. Kariana, is ORJ part of probation? Are you?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, so that's why it might be easier to get someone from
From
probation,
probation.
because ORJ is part of the probation department.
They're part of the umbrella.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that would be probably the best one to start with, if we could get them for the retreat.
yeah, I would agree with probation.
And
Yeah.
if we can't get them, should we think about a second?
Yeah, I was gonna ask them then, okay, what's plan B, just in case they don't?
To have enough people, somebody ought to come out.
Just because they. I mean, they're gonna-
Yeah, that's true, right.
I deal in reality here, it's like, come on, so, do we have anyone else that we have a strong, inclination that we'd want to hear from? I think the CAO is,
What is CAO? Who's
Is
CAO?
it chief accounting officer?
is that something administrative?
County
law?
administration, yeah, county
Administration,
administrator's office.
and they're involved in a lot of. Maybe one of my activity.
And I see Nicole's hand.
Nicole?
Is she?
I'm definitely in agreement with you all. The top, my top is probation and the CAO. I was going to add to what Mark said. I'm excited about probation. I think I was very happy that he brought that up, because sometimes we forget about that, and also being someone that's just as involved. I think it's time to remove that, I don't want to say gap, but that negative energy. We're trying to bring in individuals in the cab that are part of the, Lord, I can't think, I'm sorry. That's part of the community. And there's a big gap between probation and community. So I think we need to start involving them more. At one point, probation was involved with CAB, and it kind of went I don't want to say it didn't go left. I just think that I don't know what happened, but I love the fact that I brought that piece here. And I think that if they can be there, I think it's great to hear from them. They have a lot of input in the community. They work a lot with our CBOs, and we haven't heard that part of it. We hear about it at the CCP meetings, but we really haven't heard it from a CAB perspective. So I think it'd be great to hear, especially from those involved with AB 109, get their feedback and know how they feel about programs. What would they like to see? We have not brought that perspective to CAB.
And I know from and I haven't done my report yet, but I know from the CAB ambassador meeting with the chief, because Walana and I met with the chief a couple weeks ago, that she's receptive and would like to be able to participate in CAB meetings moving forward. I mean, I know that there's scheduling conflicts at times, but she even suggested that she'd be open to, coming and presenting or being at the CAB meeting, on a quarterly basis or on a, set schedule, so that she has a time where she knows that she's available and she can come and talk to the CAB. So I didn't talk to her about the retreat, but I know that at least, long term, that it's something that she's open and receptive to and sees the value in having probation be present and be involved in the work that the CAB's doing.
That's awesome.
So just to clarify, Patrice is going to start at 9:20, and then she's going to be presenting until the break, or is she going to be presenting till 11:30?
So
To the break, because we removed the AB 109 and the.
Yeah, yes, and with that being said, I think that what I would suggest is with the topics that she has, look at the time that's allotted. And I think that that's where we need to ask for some flexibility from Patrice. So as an example, the history and intent, I don't believe needs to take a full 45 minutes. I would like to see some of that time be carved out so that she can give an overview of ORJ.
Okay.
Instead of down here at 10:15.
Where are you?
I'm still on the front, go back to the front.
Oh,
At
Yeah,
10:15.
10:15 should, it
And
says
the
2 minutes.
line.
What we're trying to,
So
what I
we'll
was
just
trying
overview.
to do is so that she can cover all of her topics and be done at the break.
So
Is no, instead of saying, okay, for 45 minutes, we want you to go over AB 109 history and intent, maybe that's just 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And then she has more time for what you're talking about, the 10 minutes for the overview.
okay, yes.
Say, we want you to talk about ORJ. Like, for my 2 cents is the bulk of her presentation should be on ORJ.
Okay.
And maybe it's another example of if we can get documents ahead of time about the history of 109 and the intent, that'll save time
Mhm.
in her, so she'll have more time to present.
Yeah.
And then after the break, because you said the presentations aren't starting either from the CAO or probation until 11:30, and the break is at 10:30 to 10:40. So what's happening after the break before the presentation?
We talked about putting the AB 109 and us to review, so
Oh, I see what you're saying. So that's why, okay, Gary, I know. It
Yeah.
took me a minute, so my coffee, it wear it off already. So
Yeah.
I think that she has that presentation about AB 109 and the money. I think that she does that after the break.
Okay.
So those other items, we need her to cover from 9:30 until 10:15.
Okay.
Take a 10-minute break, and then she has her last topic where she's talking about AB 109 and the money. And then when that ends, then we have the next speaker.
Gotcha.
So are we still, because I thought I heard earlier for the AB 109 and the money, we were suggesting to shorten that from 30 minutes. And that would be something that they would give us sort of the paperwork on.
Yeah, I think it still should be a shorter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
Still-
Garyana, perhaps maybe show Patrice the topics that we want covered, and if she thinks it can be done in less time, then, chop it down. But my ask for the cab is that she just, within her time frame, allots more time to the overview of ORJ and the work that ORJ does.
Okay. Yeah, I have a check-in with her later today and we'll go over this revised cab schedule that you guys all just created.
Yeah. She's-
And that leaves basically like from 11 to 12.
Okay, so probation comes in after the break. What time is that? Okay. We need another one of these mocked up so we can see what the times are, because I've scribbled all over this and I'm like, I'm not even sure, like, what time is this gonna happen? So I'm like, can we get another one to say, okay, this is our, I call them drafts.
Mhm.
Draft, okay.
We get an idea, okay, this is, because time frame, I'm
Yes.
completely on.
So,
Okay.
yes, and so I did the same. I mean, if you looked at mine, it wouldn't make any sense. So,
Yeah.
so that takes us through, for sure, we know that we're solid through 11 AM. What we don't know, if we have probation yet. If we do, then probation goes in at 11 AM. So that's an open item. And so that takes us to lunchtime, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then, so now going on to 1 PM.
Wait. So 11 AM to lunch is held to be determined probation.
Right.
And then lunch. There is this little 15-minute section written down here for a little, at 11:45, it says, from what you heard, what are you willing, and then an interactive game, Kahoot. Like,
The reflections on the morning.
did you wanna just have like no, reflections on?
I thought we took out reflection.
Yeah, we took that
We
out.
took out the,
Reflections on the
Reflections
morning.
in the morning.
okay,
at
and
11:45.
the 11:10 reflection questions about what you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
So we took out
Yes.
both reflection
Both of
times, and
them.
we're having no reflection time in the morning.
We're
None
just
in the
gonna
morning.
reflect in the afternoon.
We're gonna reflect in the afternoon.
I'm just checking.
Okay.
I'm like, you're the one that didn't want to reflect.
I know, right, exactly. I thought it was too many. I did. No, I'm saying, there was.
Wanted to make sure that those
Right,
reflections.
there was
I'm just saying.
sections that we tagged, so I'm just like.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I saw a game.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay,
So one-
morning is good.
yes.
1 o'clock, come back.
Hmm.
Nicole resumes.
Mhm.
So
Uh,
we're keeping 110 the same.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have any new arrivals. Okay. All right. So this is the chair, right? Okay. The chair.
And then
Okay.
at 110, the cab overview. Brief reminder of the retreat's purpose, review afternoon session goals, recap morning session.
Yeah, that's just the second stage. for the day,
Setting
the
the
afternoon.
stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I will stand up at 125,
This
give
is
the
purpose and function.
cab purpose and function
Okay.
slides.
Okay.
And that then includes the organizing ourselves to do the work and the tips.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right here. Okay. Right. Moved up to purpose, right.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then the next section will be the overview of CAB accomplishments, policy recommendations, and ambassador program.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want somebody to help you with the ambassador program review.
Yeah, I can get a part
Where
of,
is that
get
at?
to that part.
Okay, that's 210, right?
Yeah,
That's 210.
Roughly.
Oh, because that's just the toolkit that we have.
Yes.
correct?
Yes. We can change.
so that was the chair before. Nicole,
Where-
can you
where?
take that part? The CAB ambassador program review.
The cab ambassador, sure.
Oh, this part right here, okay.
Which one? The cab ambassador program review?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah,
we'll
because
have,
it said Ozzy.
we'll have the everything updated that you guys are working on.
We're hoping.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
I
We'd like to see
Actually,
something.
yeah, because we updated it and then it was with the full body at the last. Oh,
Okay.
wait, but we put it over, right? Didn't we?
Yeah,
The
we
CAB
put, we didn't
ambassador,
we didn't review it because of the
I thought
time.
we tabled something.
It was
Did we table
tabled.
it? Because we ran out of time? Oh, this is.
But you can still talk about the CAB ambassador program and then the timeline of, when the meeting should start, when they should be done,
Okay.
what the purpose is of the CAB ambassador program.
Okay.
I think that's what we're looking for.
I definitely can.
Yeah, and then we can go
Didn't have
into
a
more of
break.
it later on.
Yeah.
Just you. And say we have a toolkit, kind of just saying, we have a toolkit with examples that can
Yes.
help you as you go forward.
Yes.
We'll review that later on.
Yes, remember, that's what we did. We actually worked on it,
Mhm.
Marcus and I think you too.
Yeah. mhm.
So we put it together.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've all done it,
Mhm.
put it together. So
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
have the toolkit that we can, they'll make part of the package, I guess, is what we're gonna get. I'm assuming. Because we have it, I
Mhm.
mean, did we pass it out I don't think we passed
It
it
was,
out.
it was on our agenda
Right, but
for
we didn't-
last week and then
We,
because we
tabled
submitted
it.
yeah.
yeah,
Tabled it, yeah.
yeah, so we do have it. So it should be included. Yes.
I bet it, is it finished?
It's a draft that's waiting.
We could
for it.
have the watermark with draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put drop the thing in, You get that, Gariana, we'll give you. Do you have our toolkit? I mean,
Yeah,
the,
used to.
that we put together? Okay,
Yeah, the one that was included in the last agenda packet for the general meeting.
right.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can put draft on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Quick question. So you're going to review the CAB ambassadors program review from 210 to 250.
That's me. From 210 to what, till?
Combined.
Right, because
The
we moved
program
things,
review.
okay. So we're gonna have to break, and then we're gonna have the ambassador program review, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we have the break, and then so that 210 is when we do the review. But what comes after that, because we moved the tips for successful membership, we moved that.
Mhm.
So we have a big space between what? How much time do we give her for that? What we give her, we didn't say how much time we gave for that one.
Say, I don't know where we are on time, but
Yes, I'm saying, that's why I said I wanted to know, okay,
The break is from 2 to 210.
right.
And then after the break,
Right,
we wanted
but-
to do the ambassadors program. And then since we
Right.
removed tips for successful engagement and organizing ourselves to do the work, the next thing
Right.
wouldn't be until 250.
Right. That's what I said, we have a big time.
so we probably, but the break then
could
probably
always
needs to be
end
moved
earlier.
down.
I'm
Wouldn't the
sorry.
break need to be moved down since the tips and organizing ourselves are being moved up to this section that's only allotted 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, and, oh, yeah, you could, because.
So we
much
need
like-
to add,
Much like the 1:30 or whatever, and then we've got the time.
so
So
we,
far, I
lunch
have,
is only till 1 o'clock.
Wait,
yeah,
what she said?
I have
Right.
125. You're going to start the CAB.
25.
We talk about CAB purpose function. You're going to, there's going to be tips and engagement, organizing ourselves to do the work, and that will be taking place from 125. And we're also going to be talking about the policy recommendations in that section. And that's going to be going from 1:25 till the break, right? Or did I have that incorrect?
Okay,
Good too, right?
And then, so the breaks from
Okay.
2 to 2:10, then at
Yeah.
2:10 is cab ambassador program review.
Right.
which will take how? That's what we don't have kind of.
Right, we don't have a time.
So that's what we're looking at, a time. for
So
how-
I say
How much time, Nicole, you think you'll need?
10 minutes.
Toolkit.
For the toolkit, how
Yeah.
much is on there now? I'm looking, where I just go?
We don't have a time.
We don't have a time.
It's split between 2 items for 20 minutes, so would 10 minutes be
10
good
is
or
fine. I,
10?
what else is on that? I'm trying to, so my eyes are so low. Oh, policy recommendations.
We've moved that. We
Okay,
split those 2 items.
So you would just need to do that, the cab ambassador program review, and if 10 minutes will suffice, then that's what we're looking for from you, feedback, if you think that's enough time.
that's fine.
That'll take us to 2:20.
Okay. And then,
Then you can do the future work. We can
Actually,
split.
what is that,
Yeah.
2:20?
Yep.
Then okay, then we can do the reflection questions and end the day.
Yep.
It doesn't have
So
to go
2:20
till-
to 2:50 will be the future work?
Yeah.
Or did I miss
Yes.
something? Okay,
Yes.
and then reflections from 2:50 to, ooh, we might be ending earlier.
But no, I have a quick question
The
for
end.
the ambassador, because if we have more time, many mornings it's 10. I know there was some recommendations about doing there's a few things, a few updates. Do you guys want me to talk about that time as well in reference to checking in with the individual we're assigned to throughout the year, not holding it off to the end of the year? Are we going to talk about that as well? Is that during that time? Because there were some adjustments that
Say that again?
well, the ambassadors in previous conversations at the full cap, there were some changes that was recommended to do it earlier on in the year. Don't wait to the very end. Checking in with our assignments, maybe more than just once. So are we going to talk about assignments and what that's going to look like? So in reference to the toolkit, there were a lot of additions and changes that were made to it.
Right, that's what Marcus was saying. You're talking about timelines and,
I want to give her more than 10 minutes.
so yeah, more than 10 minutes.
It may be more than 10 because a lot of folks had questions.
Right.
How about you just take the afternoon?
10.
Take the after.
So you know what, Nicole, so
After the break.
yeah, if you need more time, I think that's what, because there's some flexibility, but we did not end up making significant changes to the toolkit. We updated language, kind of cleaned up some language, didn't change how the reports come out. I think that what would be beneficial for the cab is to hear, from you as chair to basically lay out the timeline as far as when you want the ambassador meetings to start for next year, and then when you feel is the deadline for them to complete it so that it can inform the policy and budget subcommittee.
Okay, so what I hear is the direction got turned back to the chair. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make that part of the, as your toolkit, the recommendations. You say, well, we should start the meeting, at this time and check in. So you make that as part of your little spiel that you're giving about the toolkit. And those recommendations will be part of the toolkit.
Well, no,
Something you
that's
can
fine.
just-
Well, no, that's fine. I could definitely do that. It was just some items that I'm being honest, my mind state was not around it because I know that there were things talked about at the previous cab board meeting that I need to go back to review.
Yeah.
There were a lot of suggestions that were thrown
Yeah.
out by board members, and I tabled that. I'll be honest, I put that to the side because it was being done here, and I did not put that in the forefront of chair. So I will take that on. So I have to just pivot and kind of put that back on
I
my.
think, so what I would say as far, because I don't want it to be received like we're punting it back over to you, is that we took into consideration that conversation at the full cab, and because of some of the sentiments that were shared, there were some changes that were not made. Like, I was pretty clear about my thoughts about the reports and how I think that they could be done or should be done, but basically let that go and maintain the status quo, but we cleaned up the language on how the reports look. And then, I'll be honest, like, I don't know the timeline for policy and budget. And so I think some of that, we do need direction from the CAB chair as far as what your expectation is from the subcommittees and specifically from policy and budget. And if they need the CAB ambassador reports to inform their work, then that's the deadline that we're looking for.
Okay, no problem at all. I just, for myself, I just have to realign it in my thought process, or you won't get it. So I have no problem going over those things, looking at the timeline in reference to programs and services, the survey, policy and budget, and what that all looks like, and putting that together. I'm just being honest. I had tabled it, so I'll bring it back to the forefront. Or I would show up with nothing. So it was just more of me, so that I know to have that on my to-do item. I have no problem with pulling that together because I've done it for over 4 years. So I do have that information to bring to the retreat. I will tackle it. I will definitely reach out to you all if I have some questions. I just want to make sure I capture the questions that you all, that you all had. So I'll go back and look at my notes, and I could definitely bring that timeline, because I know that was a question that was asked at the full board. So I can definitely do that. It won't be a problem at all. I'm just being honest. I was giving it no thought. So I will think about it now.
Thank you.
Okay.
So does it sound, Garyana, does it sound like you're good as far as having an outline of what the agenda is gonna look like? And certainly it's pending if we can get a speaker from probation.
Yeah.
So for next,
Oh, go ahead.
so for
Marcus.
next steps, do we have to set a date, or could you do a poll of us outside of this meeting for a date for us to finalize the agenda? Is that how we have to do that?
Yeah, so do you guys think because there's no subcommittee meetings in January to account for the retreat, would you guys like to have an OCEC subcommittee meeting to go over the CAB retreat again once more time? Or do you feel confident in what you have and I could just send it out and we could go from there?
I think you should send it out, but we should meet
Yeah, I wanna-
so that we're clear on what exactly, because if we're all together, then we can actually see, and if there's something that we need to.
Yeah, because then
Right.
it's thrown out, because if she emails it, yeah, so we
See.
might as well.
Yeah,
So would
So
you
we don't
like
have
a
to
subcommittee
meet for
meeting in
an
January?
hour and a half. I was saying, but we don't have to meet for a full hour and a half.
like, no, just to
Yeah.
go over that. We just need,
Yeah,
So
yeah, we just need that and we can.
is that the consensus?
Yes.
Okay, so the consensus, Garyana, is that we have a special meeting and the sole agenda item being to finalize the agenda for the retreat. And so our request is that be the only agenda item for the special meeting.
And I know you changed your meeting schedule to the third Tuesday from 11 to 12:30. Is that still, would you like your January meeting to be? Are we all available on the third Tuesday in January?
Can we work backwards from the date that you would have to post the agenda for the retreat?
Yeah, so the retreat is on January 25th. I wouldn't have to post it until the 16th, the latest. So you would possibly have to meet early January, maybe the week of the 6th.
I need to put my calendar because I'm already getting booked up. Okay.
That's crazy. Time that.
Oh, because January 9th is the RFP with
Training, correct.
trees, right? I'm doing that on January 9th. What day? Is that a
That's a Thursday.
Thursday? Okay.
So the Tuesday would be the 7th.
Tuesday would be the 7th.
Does that work for anybody else?
But I can flex it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be,
10.
it doesn't have to be a 10.
Yeah, we just,
Yeah,
What day was it?
They're looking at Tuesday, January 7th, and they're trying to find a time.
Okay, so
I'm
with,
available after.
so is anybody else, I mean, is everybody else available after 1?
I wouldn't be able to meet until 3 if we did it after 1.
Okay, 3.
Yeah, I can do, yeah.
Tuesday the 7th.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're looking at Tuesday the 7th at 3.
Got you.
So I'll join on Zoom, but I'll be late because I have an RFP meeting from 2 to 3:30. If you need my support.
So do we want?
I don't think
Do we
we
wanna
need it because
do
we're just
3:30?
confirming the agenda, right?
We're just going over the agenda, that's all, to make sure that we're clear on,
No.
we should be okay.
Relax, Nicole.
Okay.
She said that, I didn't.
Well, no, I'm just here for support. I'll be letting you guys know I'll come. I'll be late.
Okay, Gariana, any other next steps for this item?
Nope.
Oh, good.
Okay, so
Let's have a short meeting for this.
anybody else, any other discussion or questions, concerns, things that we need to be aware of for the cab retreat materials? Okay, so then, our next agenda item is, the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 25th, 2025 at 11 a.m. And, we have gone through today's agenda. Appreciate everybody's, feedback and flexibility and I think good, discussion. But we have gone through our agenda and right on time. It's 12:30. So, go ahead and adjourn today's meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you all are doing amazing.